Hi, everyone. It's Carol Williams with Williams Immigration, and we are back for another Monday morning edition of Beyond the Soundbite, where I talk about all things happening in the U.S. immigration world. So let's dive right in. The first thing I want to talk about this morning, which is amazing news that came out late last week, is the H-1B lottery. The USCIS has run a third lottery. The first one was run in March of this year. The second one was run in July of this year. And we just had one run a couple of days ago, November 19th of this year. The lottery, again, is for individuals who applied to be in the lot or who entered the lottery back in March of this year. And so that is for individuals that are applying for or want to apply for an H-1B. So I urge everyone, if you have, input your name into the lottery, you were not selected in March, you were not selected in July, the Immigration Service has not reached the cap for either the master's degree program or the regular program, those positions requiring a minimum of a bachelor's degree. So please, please, please check your My USCIS accounts and see if you have been selected in this third round. Again, the third round selections were done November 19th, which means that the filing period for those H-1Bs begins today, November 22nd, and closes February 23rd of next year. So you want to be on top of this. So again, USCIS has run the third lottery. This has never happened, you all. This is extraordinary news. And Ben Cross, I agree with you. This is very exciting. They have not told us how many visas they are expecting on this one. All I have seen thus far is that they have not reached either the master's cap or the regular cap. So if I get that information, if I can find it somewhere, I will definitely go ahead and make a post about it. But as of right now, I don't know how many visas we can expect from this third round. But the third round is unprecedented, super exciting, and gives more people an opportunity to file for their H-1B. So I know employers are happy. I know prospective candidates are happy. So again, third round H-1B lottery was run November 19th. The filing dates for those H-1Bs are November 22nd, closing out on February 23rd. So please go back in and check your My USCIS accounts. The third time may be the charm. The second thing I wanted to talk about this fabulous Monday morning is the public charge rule. So I've talked about the public charge rule before. The public charge policy for USCIS and for Department of State is to ensure that individuals coming to the US can financially support themselves. That's really sort of the lowdown on the rule. There is a policy in place. The prior White House administration had a very, very restrictive public charge policy in place. The current Biden administration rolled back on that very restrictive rule. But what they have done is they have published a new rule. And so they had initially closed out comments on that rule. But now they are reopening comments. So this tells me that the government is not quite sure how they want to handle the public charge rule. So they are trying to figure out if they should completely do away with what they have in place right now and completely redraft, or if they should just tweak it. But if you have comments on that, let them know. And you know, this is how things are done within the government. They absolutely do look at your comments and they do take them into consideration. So the new comment period will close on, let me look, January 18th of next year. So again, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns about the public charge rule, now is your opportunity to let USCIS and Department of State know that. We've had some movement with the Build Back Better Act. It was passed by the House last week. And there are many, many provisions in that act, in the Build Back Better Act. There are, however, some very specific immigration provisions. And those provisions call for very, very broad brushstrokes. The protection of undocumented immigrants in the United States also calls for some real reduction in wait times and backlogs with the Immigration Service. And also, one of the things I think is super key in this act is that we are looking at potentially getting the recapturing of lost green card visas. So, what that means is every year there is a certain number, there is a limit, there is a cap on the number of green card applications that are allowed to be approved. That is written into the law. And every year, they don't always meet that capped number for a variety of reasons. And so recapturing those numbers means that they go by year and they say, okay, we missed 100 in this particular category. We missed 5 in this category. We missed, 2,000 in this category, whatever that number may be. And so they recapture this. They allow those numbers and those green cards, because those numbers translate to actual people getting their green card. So they're looking at recapturing those numbers and then redistributing and allowing people to apply. So think of it as a temporary raising of the cap for green cards, if you will. So we are looking at that not only in the family categories, but also in the employment-based categories. That act also includes recapturing of diversity visa numbers. As I have talked about in prior broadcasts, the diversity visa lottery, because of the pandemic, many of those green cards were not issued. So that is several green cards that can be recaptured. So the Build Back Better Act is not law yet, you all. It is not law yet. It has passed the House. We are now looking to see what happens in the Senate. If it passes in the Senate, it will then go to President Biden for signature. So that's kind of the very quick view of what's going on in that act and the immigration provisions, as well as what happens now that it has passed the House. Hopefully we can get it through the Senate and then onward to President Biden and really look at some immigration reform. And for this Monday morning leading up to Thanksgiving, I wanted to keep today fairly short for you all. The last thing I want to talk about are work authorization. So work authorization for dependents who are in H4, L2, and E2. So our H4s are dependents of our H-1B folks. Our L2s are dependents of our L1s and L1As and L1Bs. Those are intra-company transfers. And our E2s are dependents of our treaty traders and treaty investors. Those individuals we talked about last week now have a streamlined path to work authorization. And so as a result of that litigation that came out, USCIS is now changing its internal policies. I typically don't talk about changes in internal policies because that gets very, very into the weeds. But I'm going to talk very high level about it today. And the reason that you should care that the Immigration Service is changing their internal policies is because their internal policies are what the adjudicators use in order to process your applications. So it is very important that the adjudicators have updated internal policies and guidance to use. So what this internal guidance should and will cover is how employers are now to complete the I-9s when they have individuals that are in H4, L2, and E2 that are going to be employees and working for them. We also care because we are looking at non-immigrant extensions and change of status applications. We do not want individuals erroneously being charged and accused of working without authorization. So that is another reason why it is very important for the internal policies in the agency to be changed and written, which is why they are doing it. It is also very crucial for those policies internally to be changed and to be disseminated internally so that green card applicants and US citizen applicants also are not being accused of working without authorization. So um, those are crucially, all of those applications are very important to the individuals involved. And so we don't want people having to show or prove that they did not work without authorization. So USCIS is in fact reviewing and amending their internal policy procedures, which is great. So that is all I have for you all. I frankly thought the H-1B third round of the lottery was super exciting. So I wanted to hop on here and talk about that this morning. But if y'all have any questions or comments, feel free to pop those in the comments, or you can also feel free to DM me. I definitely look at both. And have a wonderful and happy Monday and a great rest of your week. And if you have found this broadcast helpful, feel free to click like and or share with any friends or colleagues. Have a wonderful Monday and a fantastic Thanksgiving. Bye all.